Ben Habib criticizes Labour Council policies in passionate speech on working-class representation. In a recent town hall-style address, Reform UK figurehead Ben Habib made headlines after delivering a pointed critique of several Labour-led local councils, arguing that working-class communities across the UK have been neglected and sidelined by policies that, in his view, prioritise political agendas over local needs. Habib, a businessman-turned-politician known for his direct communication style and outspoken views, focused his remarks on issues such as housing, local development, public services, and council accountability. His speech resonated strongly with parts of the electorate who feel left behind by traditional party politics. But while his comments sparked enthusiasm among Reform UK supporters and other disenchanted voters, Labour councillors and local governance advocates pushed back, warning against what they described as oversimplification and political point-scoring. Speaking before a crowd in the Midlands, Ben Habib described a growing disconnect between Labour-led councils and the communities they represent. Many working-class Brits feel like they've been pushed to the sidelines, he said. Council decisions on housing, public spending, and community priorities often reflect bureaucratic targets, not the real needs of everyday people. He pointed to rising council taxes, reductions in street-level services, and controversial urban development plans as examples of how some councils are failing the people they're meant to serve. Habib stressed that these problems were not unique to one town or city, but part of a broader national trend. His speech drew attention from political commentators across the spectrum, many of whom noted that Habib's message was carefully timed in the lead-up to local elections, a moment when voter dissatisfaction often reaches its peak. Several Labour councillors responded publicly to Habib's remarks, defending their records and highlighting the constraints faced by local governments after more than a decade of funding cuts from central government. Councillor Rebecca Longhurst, deputy leader of a council mentioned in Habib's speech, stated, "Criticism is welcome, but it needs to be fair. Local councils across the country are doing their best to deliver essential services under increasingly difficult financial conditions. Blaming local officials while ignoring national funding decisions is neither honest nor helpful." Others in the Labour Party noted that despite the challenges, many councils have introduced progressive policies designed to tackle inequality, support small businesses, and increase access to public resources like libraries and childcare. "We're working to lift communities up," said another council leader. "That includes addressing complex housing needs, improving air quality, and supporting economic recovery after COVID. These are not simple issues, and they require nuanced solutions." Analysts suggest that Habib's comments are part of a wider strategy by Reform UK to build support in historically Labour-leaning areas, particularly in regions where Brexit loyalty, economic hardship, and dissatisfaction with the status quo have combined to create fertile ground for alternative political voices. Dr. Sarah Thompson, a political analyst at King's College London, said, "Habib's messaging is clearly aimed at voters who feel that mainstream parties have ignored their concerns. Whether or not you agree with his critique, it reflects a real and growing frustration in parts of the electorate." Reform UK, while still a relatively small party, has gained traction in local polls and online discussions by focusing on issues such as immigration control, economic self-sufficiency, and government efficiency. Critics, however, argue that some of its messaging oversimplifies complex social problems. Behind the headlines, local councils in the UK face serious structural challenges. Reduced funding from Westminster, increasing demands on social care, and the rising cost of living have created a perfect storm for many authorities. Even well-intentioned policies can falter under financial pressure, and many councils have had to make difficult trade-offs. For residents, this often results in reduced services, longer wait times, and less visible community investment, factors that contribute to the growing disillusionment that speakers like Habib tap into. Non-partisan voices in local government advocacy stress the need for both accountability and support. "We welcome scrutiny," said a spokesperson for the Local Government Association, "but it must be accompanied by the recognition that councils need proper funding and a fairer system if they're to meet public expectations." Public responses to Habib's remarks have varied. Some residents praised his willingness to speak candidly about local frustrations. Others criticized what they viewed as populist rhetoric lacking in detailed solutions. Still, his message has amplified a core concern, that working-class communities need more voice, more visibility, and more targeted support. Whether this translates into electoral gains remains to be seen, but it is clear that these debates will shape the upcoming local and national political landscape. Do you think your local council is doing enough to represent your community? Are current policies helping working-class families, or do they need a major rethink? Drop your respectful opinions in the comments below. And if you want more balanced political news and in-depth discussions, be sure to subscribe, like, and tap the bell icon to stay informed on the stories that matter most to Britain today.